Welcome to State of Events, the weekly newscast from San Francisco State University. I'm Rita Bravo.
And I'm Kristen King. Thanks for tuning in.
California's shrinking budgets and rising tuition are not the only misfortune students at San Francisco State University are in holding. Not only are they paying higher school fees, they are also not receiving what they paid for. Kristen King sheds some light on the state's disservice to education.
At San Francisco State, students find themselves in a predicament. Crashing classes has become an unbearable and cruel process. This practice has led to students creating crafty tactics to crash classes. A few students shared their experience on their ongoing strategies.
We got a lot of students. We got like 30,000 students, you know what I'm saying? All the classes are impacted. So I'm just working on getting my G's out of the way and then hopefully next semester just get my major class, computer science.
In the past, what I've done is I just go to the class and in hopes of someone not showing up, because sometimes the professor will take note of that and maybe drop them later so then you can take their spot. But yeah, that's really the only way I know. I also try emailing the teachers too. But ahead of time.
Kevin, a junior at SF State, shares a different experience.
I didn't have to crash classes this semester. I'm in a program that lets me sign up really early.
Broadcasting student Ryan Residi created a list on how to crash classes.
Crashing classes is a challenging process for the students here at the San Francisco State University. This could be a contributor to their 13% graduating rate. Reporting from San Francisco State University, I am Kristen King, State of Events. The San Francisco State University Police Department is facing a lot of negative attention these days, triggered by an accident that happened last year.
You're tasing my friend! Stop!
He shows some support because those people did not need to be hurt the way that they were.
There was a large number of people that were part of it, which is in violation of the policy.
A new smartphone accessory may potentially save you thousands of dollars or your life. Breathometer transforms your smartphone into a breathalyzer in just seconds. It also provides an estimated time on getting your blood alcohol level back to zero, as well as allowing you to call for a local cab with just a push of a button. This device plugs into your headphone jack and is FDA registered device. Breathometer is now available for pre-orders only.
The La Raza Student Organization celebrates Festival of the Americas. The event, held in the Malcolm X Plaza, drew many onlookers. The celebration is a remembrance of the Latin countries who received independence during the period of August and September. The celebration entailed speakers addressing social issues in the Latin community.
Well, one of the main things one of the speakers was talking about is to ask questions regarding our social awareness. He was really speaking on being socially conscious of our existence and knowing the issues around us.
La Raza organization hopes to inspire the cultural awareness in San Francisco State community. BART drama continues as workers and officials can't reach an agreement. Federal mediators announced that train service would run on Tuesday as they continue to negotiate overnight. BART negotiates continue on as both sides address the media overnight after the midnight. BART could be offline this week with a strike, and the commute into San Francisco could be excruciating. Commuters should rethink how they get into work, school, or just stay home altogether.
San Francisco County Transportation Authority is proposing the elimination of parking space on 19th Avenue. This line is suggested to replace the current M Ocean View line. The line is proposed to run underground through Park Merced. The SFCTA hopes to extend the line to Daly City.
Another Bay Area transportation agency could be halting due to a strike. AC Transit employees say they will walk off the job Thursday if a new contract is not made. At least 1,600 union bus drivers have rejected 2 previous deals. The threat comes in the wake of a possible BART strike as well. Coming up, find out what form of technology is not welcomed by professors.
Propel yourself by pursuing your global health education. Educate yourself by understanding the world's cultural challenges. Challenge yourself by learning the clinical skills you aspire to find. Find yourself with Child Family Health International. How will you distinguish yourself? Visit cfhi.org.
Working with Habitat for Humanity Greater San Francisco, I didn't just build a child's room. I built a space for a child's creativity to run wild.
My contribution to Habitat for Humanity funded not only a house, but a place where memories can be made.
Because of Habitat for Humanity, I moved into a house and my family is making it a home.
Habitat for Humanity Greater San Francisco, building homes and hope in Marin, San Francisco, and the Peninsula.
Teachers are struggling to keep students' attention. State of Events reporter Rita Bravo has more on the story.
Teachers are meant to be free of interruption. Even though cell phones are resourceful, they are an interference in the classroom.
They were just off their phones for, the few hours that were in class, they would be up to speed. But because they're so distracted by, looking at Facebook or texting their friends, we have to go over the same information.
Nomophobia is the fear of being without your cell phone. According to Dr. Adele Archer, it affects an estimated 40% of the population.
I'm very open to having digital stuff in class. Your laptop, your tablet, your smartphone. But what I ask is for respect. To me, it's all about respect and it's all about etiquette.
Teachers practice different policies to combat cell phone usage, but many agree it's a distraction from learning and a matter of respect. San Francisco State students have different opinions.
I don't think it's a big problem, but if an individual is paying their money to be here, what they're putting into their education is totally up to them.
I'm on the fence with it as well. I would say you can use it, just don't abuse it.
Why be on your cell phone? I think you can get rid of it for an hour or two and not have to have the notion of texting someone or being updated all the time.
Putting down your phone might be a challenge. Are you up for it? Your success could be on the line.
Having to control your attention span with a cell phone in hand is harder than paying attention with your cell phone in your bag. Mexico's public education teachers returned to their jobs yesterday after a long absence. For the longest, professors were striking and manifesting all over the capital in the anger against the Mexican government's education reform. The reform was enforcing testing on teachers to see if they were adequate enough and taking some tenure rights.
This year is reported the driest season in San Francisco since the Civil War. The average rainfall per year is 22 inches. However, this year we fell short of 7 inches. The city receives most of its rainfall in the winter and rarely in the summer. This lack in rainfall could mean an increased bushfire. Not to worry, San Francisco State instructor Marilyn Hope Smillian from the Geography Department states the city's rainfall fluctuates over the years.
Because when you're starting out with a deficit, that means that all the vegetation is much drier than it normally would be. So when there are lightning strikes, fires become more likely. And when we have fires, they potentially run hotter because everything is drier to begin with.
Coming rainy season is fast approaching. If this lax in rainfall continues, it might lead to water restrictions. KSFS Media website is looking for a new display banner. The banner must be made by a student at SFSU. All banner entries should be 990 pixels wide by 150 pixels high. Submissions must be uploaded on ksfsmedia.net by Friday, October 25th. This is a great opportunity to display your work and talent to your peers and future employers. University guidelines for logos and images can be found on ksfsmedia.net. Becca 582 Electronic Media and Social Justice utilizes students' professional and creative abilities to produce a video for a local nonprofit and non-governmental organization. This past spring semester produced 2 videos for the Edgewood Center for Children and Youth, then traveled to Karatu, Tanzania in June. In Tanzania, they shot 1 video for the Tumani Junior School that teaches disadvantaged children, in addition to a video on the Lake Ayasi Girls Vocational School, which highlighted the different issues that women in Tanzania face on a daily basis.
Time over there to realize that there's a lot of meaning out there in life that you can still make, and that we were able to create a video that would help the lives of women and disadvantaged children for hopefully for years to come.
Professor Betsy Blosser and students David Garcia, Kimberly Walker, James Bauman, Kellen Bala, and Brian Favorite traveled and made these documentaries.
SF State, the NFL, and NBA, stick around. Coming up next is State of Events Sports.
Here for the interviews?
I have a 3.93 GPA, 35 on my MCATs. What about you?
Graduated with a 4.0, 33 MCAT, and studied in Bolivia with Child Family Health International.
What'd you do?
We shadowed local doctors, saw the realities of healthcare on the ground, and got immersed in the international community.
And it's for all health science students?
Mm-hmm.
The professor will see you now.
Personal growth, professional exposure. Child Family Health International. Let the world change you. For more info, visit cfhi.org.
No matter how much you give, every cent donated can turn into something useful. Take part in building homes. Take part in building hope. Habitat for Humanity, Greater San Francisco. Building homes and hope in Marin, San Francisco, and the Peninsula.
Both the men and women's soccer team will return home this weekend to Cox Stadium to play a pair of CCAA conference matches. This Friday, October 18th, the men will host Cal State East Bay at 2:30 p.m. and the women will begin at 3 p.m. And make sure you come back out to support them against Cal State Stanislaus on Sunday at 11:30 a.m. and then at 2 p.m. for the women. That's all for San Francisco State Sports. Now over to Jesse with the latest in the NFL.
Thank you, Bree. And when it rains, it pours, especially for San Francisco 49ers linebacker Aldon Smith. Smith, who is currently in a leave of absence from the team for a substance abuse issue, has been charged with 3 felony counts of possession of an illegal weapon. These charges are based off a party held at his house in June of 2012. This was the same night that Smith was allegedly stabbed. The 24-year-old linebacker is expected to surrender later this month after his rehab stay. If convicted, Aldon Smith could face up to 4 years and 4 months in jail, according to the district attorney's office. On top of the legal punishment, Smith could face a suspension from the league as well. The San Francisco 49ers can only hope their sack leader can evade this offensive line. And this Sunday, the San Francisco 49ers notched a big win, 32-20, over the division rival Arizona Cardinals. Tight end Vernon Davis led the way for the Red and Gold with 180 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. The W improved San Francisco to a 4-2 record overall on the year. And that's it for the NFL. Back to you, Bree.
Fans were eager to see Derrick Rose return the other week against the Pacers in their first preseason game. Although Rose had a decent game, there were still some signs of rust throughout the night. Nonetheless, it was still comforting to fans to see how well he managed to move on the court after being out all of last season. Fans were a little heartbroken when Rose did not play in Rio due to knee soreness, but mostly they just want him to stay healthy and injury-free for the season. Moving on to Bay Area sports, the Warriors have had an up-and-down preseason so far. After losing 104-94 against the Lakers, they have 2 games in China against them to redeem themselves. They beat the Sacramento Kings 94-81 and will meet them again October 23rd. The Warriors unfortunately took the loss against the Jazz, but will have a chance to meet them again later this season. Losing 2 out of 3 games, the Warriors hope to get back on track with the 4 games they have left. They will be on the road for the next few games, but you can check them out back at home in the Oracle Arena October 24th when they play Portland. That's all for today's sports of events. Back to you, Kristen and Rita.
Now on your world news with Jesse Parati. He has the latest.
2 weeks into the U.S. government shutdown, and the U.S. debt default is still looming. China is criticizing the U.S. for their economic dysfunction. Congress can't decide whether to raise the nation's borrowing limit to above $16.7 trillion or to pay its bills. If they don't decide by October 15th, they could go into default. 340,000 workers have been furloughed, affecting consumer safety such as the FDA, CDC, NASA, and the National Weather Service. IRS refunds, Social Security, and military pay could be delayed as well. China's government-run news published that the world should become de-Americanized and stop using U.S. dollars as their international reserve currency. China is afraid that the global economy can be threatened by U.S. economic turmoil. And Congress is expected to come together to meet that October 17th deadline. If there isn't a resolution, the federal court system could be next in furloughs. Back to you, Rita and Kristen.
Stay tuned with State of Events to find out how a version of the show, The Voice, came to San Francisco State and allowed students to showcase their vocals.
These aren't just nails. This isn't your typical hammer. This tape measure is far from ordinary. This paintbrush does more than add color. Your donation isn't just change. It's hope. Habitat for Humanity, Greater San Francisco, building homes and hope in Marin, San Francisco, and the Peninsula.
Personal growth, professional exposure. Child Family Health International. Let the world change you. For more info, visit cfhi.org.
San Francisco residents can enjoy the city parks anytime, including in the middle of the night. But this could be changing very soon. Valerie Van Ryan is live with the story on Holloway Avenue.
Walking through Golden Gate Park at night could be a thing of the past. All San Francisco parks curfew is currently being debated. It would require closure from midnight until 5 in the morning. Supervisor Scott Wiener says overnight vandalism costs the city $1 million a year. Homeless advocates are saying that the proposal will punish the homeless and force them to sleep on the streets. But the supervisor says he is targeting crime, not overnight guests. The bill will be voted on later this month. We will keep you updated with the vote on the park's curfew here on State of Events. Back to you, Rita.
A dry ice bomb exploded at Los Angeles Airport for the second night in a row. The bomb, a harmless and simple device, was made of a plastic bottle and dry ice. 3 dry ice bombs were found outside the terminal on the tarmac, with one beneath the plane. No injuries were immediately reported, and investigators are still looking into how the bomb got there.
The San Francisco State competition, SF State's Voice, is back. The talent competition is hosted by the Student Life Activities Board in Jack Adams Hall. The students can participate in this competition by voting online at the Student Life Facebook or the Student Life website. This year's judges are Team Steven, Team Alvarez, Team Shay, Team Ariana, and Team Krista. The show's finale will be held in Jack Adams on October the 30th at 10 p.m.
The winner of the Safeway World Championship Pumpkin Weigh-Off has been chosen. Gary Miller of Napa weighed in the pumpkin at nearly 2,000 pounds. A spokesperson says the pumpkin is the heaviest the competition has ever seen. With $6 per pound, Miller will win over $11,000. Thanks for watching this week's edition of State of Events.
Stay tuned in next time for more on the latest news from around the Bay Area.